"Who are they?" asked Eardwig, his high-pitched child's voice piercing the echoing sounds of the horses' hooves in the gully. "I don't know," said Leofman in a quiet voice, but as they drew closer, he recognized the fat man who rode at the front of the small column. "Swiger," Leofman said, keeping his tone even, "get Eardwig onto the cart. We're leaving." Swiger didn't wait to be told twice. He scooped tiny Eardwig up and placed him beside the tools in the bed of the cart. The shaggy brown mare that was tied to the vehicle whinnied in nervous greeting to the approaching horses. Forcing himself to appear relaxed, Leofman stepped forward to meet the riders, interposing himself between them and the cart. They were in the shadows at the foot of the gully now, and he could make them out clearly. They had the hard faces of warriors. Swords and seaxes hung from their belts. None of them smiled as he raised his hand in welcome. "Boomoth," Leofman said, "what brings you to my lands?" The lead rider pulled gently at his reins, and his sturdy horse halted. The poor beast looked tired, thought Leofman. Boomoth was a massive man, with a round gut and great slabs of muscle over his broad chest. His beard was close-cropped, with a clearly defined line beneath it, where his neck was shaved. Leofman wondered at the man's vanity to tend to his beard with such precision, as it only served to accentuate his bloated, toad-like jowls. Boomoth made no effort to reply, or to dismount. Leofman's disquiet intensified. "What do you want?" he asked, an edge of frustration entering his tone. "It is not what I want," replied Boomoth, offering a thin, almost sad smile. "It is what Sidrak wants you should be concerned with." "These are not Sidrak's lands." Boomoth rubbed his fat, bristled chin. "No, they are not," he said, looking about the shadowed ravine, taking in the dark cave mouth and the pile of broken rock before it. His eyes finally rested on the cart. Eardwig, wide-eyed and inquisitive, was peering over the edge at the riders. "Not yet." Before Leofman could respond, the fat man snapped his fingers. "Ashforth, Egbalth, don't hurt the boy." Two of the riders slid from their steeds. It seemed to Leofman that the temperature in the shadowed cleft in the earth had suddenly dropped. He shivered. "What is the meaning of this?" Leofman was angry at himself to hear a tinge of fear in his voice. He wished he had kept hold of the pick he had been using to split the rocks, but Swiger had retrieved it and put it in the cart. Leofman's hand dropped to his seax. The knife would have to suffice. He tugged the blade from its scabbard where it hung at the rear of his belt and moved to stand before the two men. It had been years since he had last fought anyone. He might be old, but he had stood in shield walls and was no coward. And yet, even as he moved, raising himself up to his full, considerable height and drawing his seax, he was uncertain of what would happen next. This was no shield wall. He had no shield, no iron-knit shirt, and only a short-bladed seax with which to defend himself. Long gone were the days when he had stood strong, surrounded by shield brothers. Still, he was not alone. Swiger was certainly no fighter. Leofman knew the lad was loyal. He might be mute, but he was as strong as an ox. Boomoth did not reply to Leofman's question. He looked on with a strange expression some way between a smile and a frown, the look of a man who is asked to answer a riddle to which he already knows the answer. The two riders who had dismounted moved quickly, passing Leofman before he could intercept them. A third man in a blue warrior coat jumped down nimbly from his mount, and with a fluid motion pulled his sword from its decorated scabbard. The blade gleamed dully in the afternoon shadows. Leofman saw gold and garnets gleaming on it.